Hello everybody, I am the Solar Gamer, and welcome back to Cities Skylines, this time with After Dark. Yes, the After Dark expansion has finally been released, and it adds a whole lot of cool features, including this awesome, beautiful night skyline. Look at this. This is amazing, and I'll show you this a little bit more in my test game. But yeah, that's a bunch of cool features that we'll get into. And yeah, I've fallen in love with Cities Skylines yet again. So, you know, you guys, Colossal Order, keep it up. Keep it up. It's perfect. It's not that I've lost interest in Cities Skylines, I just haven't played it for a while. But now that I'm back playing it, you know, it's just taking up a lot of time again. All right, let's go ahead and show you my test game that I have, so I can show you some of the features of After Dark. All right, here we are. Now, don't mind the sickness and the noise pollution. I will explain that in a bit. But first and foremost, let's show you some cool new things, like well, public transport. So public transport has definitely had a major upgrade when it comes to, well, first and foremost, we have bus and taxi lanes now. So you can get them on the 4-lane road and the 6-lane road, which is perfect. Now, this also comes with a bike lane as well, so the bike lane allows bikers to use the road rather than use the sidewalk. I'm not sure what the benefit exactly is of this. Maybe it just encourages more biking. But yeah, it gets all the bikers off the sidewalk, which is, I suppose, a safety hazard. Although I'm not sure they really went in depth with that. You can't actually see a collision in this game when it comes to cars and stuff like that, so I really don't know. Anyway, they have also added these amazing bus depots. So these bus depots are basically going to be your new bus hubs. Essentially, you can start and end a route at these stations, and people will, you know, come to the bus depot, get off of the bus, and wait for another bus. It's absolutely perfect. So if you take a look here, I have all of my bus routes end and start on these little bus lanes here, and they go through the entire city. Obviously, some are more used than others. Like this yellow line has a crap lot of people waiting for it, and this one is the okay. So it goes down in here, which is, I guess, a very, very popular route. I'm not sure why, but okay, yeah, it's very interesting. But yeah, this is immensely better than the bus stations and stuff like that, because people couldn't necessarily find the right buses. They had to get off at certain buses, go to a different bus, and stuff like that. This one is perfect. They come to the bus depot, they find their bus line, they wait there, they get on the bus, they go. It's a very, very nice building, and I really like it a lot. Okay, another thing they've added is taxis. Yes, the bus lane is also a taxi lane, and the taxis go around the city, pick up certain people that pay for it. I'm not entirely sure how the system actually works when it comes to taxis. Here's one. Picking up passenger Sabrina Harvey. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how this entirely works. It's not as popular, I think, than the buses, obviously. If we take a look here, I've had the taxis in the city more than I've had the buses, or for longer, actually, and I've only been getting 22 people per week when it comes to taxis. Maybe it's a little bit better when I get tourists and stuff like that, when I have an airport and all that. Maybe. I really don't know. Yeah, so, I mean, they're okay. But I think earlier on, you're not going to really need them as much, as opposed to later on when you have tourists, multiple cities, stuff like that. I think you'll need taxis for the airports and all that good stuff. I'm really not sure. I just think that it's pretty cool that they've added taxis. And of course, the amazing skyline that you can see here is all lit up. It is pitch black. Well, it's not pitch black, but it's nighttime. And yeah, these buildings have amazing lights. Now, some buildings, more than others, have a lot more lights. Like this one would be really annoying to live next to. Thankfully, I don't. This one is pretty cool, too. New commercial center. There are a couple new policies added with After Dark. Now, if we take a look at the policies, we can see that they've added schools out. So, you can actually tell a certain district not to go to school, which is kind of interesting. But, you know, the thing is, you have to balance, of course, the uneducated versus highly educated workers to make sure you have jobs for every single part of the industry. So, it is kind of necessary in some places, and I'm glad they added this. We also have harsh prison sentences, which doubles the usual prison sentences and reduces the crime rate. Speaking of which, we have prisons. Here's the prison, right down here. It apparently has a trash issue, but that's probably just the prisoners that you have inside here. Right. Now prisoners have a place to actually get taken to. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I wish I knew a lot more about why these things were added to the game. But it's not really that clear on telling us. It just says prison holds inmates serving their punishment. Again, I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe, I mean, beforehand, they went to the police stations and they filled out the police stations. So I think it's just a secondary place where you can store a bunch more prisoners and keep the police stations moving, which is, I think, a very, very good idea. So we go to taxation. We can let go of leisure. Letting go of leisure will basically make entertainment buildings more attractive to land value and stuff like that. Okay, city planning. Here we go. So, of course, we can tell them to high-rise bans and heavy traffic bans. Those were in the base game. But these ones are all new. So we can encourage biking. We can bike ban on sidewalks. And bikes can only use the dedicated bike lanes, which I have, all over this this little district here. We can also enact this one, which essentially reduces all commercial noise at nighttime. It shuts down everything, which is absolutely perfect. And of course, we have Old Town, which means that this whole district can only be used by businesses and residents. And of course, public transport and emergency services. But yeah, so no large, heavy transport tractor trailers can plow through the city streets at nighttime or at any time of the day, really. And it's only used for, like I said, those services and, of course, the residents and businesses, which is perfect. It gets rid of a lot of the extra traffic. That being said, you could push the traffic in a direction where you don't want them to go, like this main road here, so there are some things you have to keep in mind. I really didn't go for efficiency with this city. I just wanted to show you guys a lot of the new features, so I kind of just built it up and, did all that stuff. So with the taxis, I forgot to mention, actually, they have taxi stands. So if the taxi isn't doing anything, I'll actually let time pass here. There's no point in not letting it. If the taxis don't have anywhere to go, they can actually come in here and park here and actually wait for people to actually need them. So it's basically a place for people to wait if they need a taxi. Stuff like that. So you can have these outside of like an airport or something. I put them here because they looked good on either side of the park. But yeah, it's very, very interesting to have all these new public transport things. It's very, very nice. So yeah, these guys are having a little bit of an issue when it comes to noise pollution because the new bike and bus lanes, they don't have any noise reduction. So originally what you would do is you'd use the regular roads, and then eventually once you can upgrade to the trees and stuff like that, you'd go ahead and upgrade them to the trees because that lowers noise pollution. But now, you have to either decide whether you want to keep it a bike lane or to go with the two-lane road with trees. And the only issue with this is that you can't do both at the same time. It makes sense in that, there's not a lot of space on here, but even still, what is the point of actually keeping around the bike lanes if you need to reduce the pollution? So I think there's a little bit of a balancing issue when it comes to these roads that I haven't decided what the best one is yet. You guys might know, but I pretty much just spam the crap out of the bike and bus lane roads everywhere. So that might be my issue. I really have no idea, though. But that's what this series is going to tackle. We're going to kind of go through the whole city process. We're going to build up from scratch, and we're going to tackle these things together. See what works, see what doesn't, and just play After Dark. So, without further ado, we're going to back out to the main menu, and we're going to go ahead and start a new game. Okay, so let's hit new game. We're going to go to Cliffside Bay. Now, I kind of tested out a lot of these maps, and I found that a lot of them are way more bumpier than they should be. So, building cities that look good aren't necessarily going to happen exactly. I mean, that's not necessarily true. I mean, you can really only see the details in the city planning if you're the one creating the zones. But I get annoyed by that stuff, so... And I'll explain that as we go here, but I'm going to choose Cliffside Bay because I haven't played here yet, and it actually looks really, really nice. So we're going to call this Solaropolis. Yeah, there we go. Solaropolis. Here we go. And start. Well, actually, let's just take a look here. It has basically a lot of each resource here. So oil, ore, farming, and forestry. And of course, a lot of water. So we have outside connections to the planes, the ships, the trains, and of course the highway. Every single city has a connection to the highway. That's just a given. It would be interesting to actually have a city that's only connected by either train or ship. Like an island, like a proper island. That might be interesting to actually add to the game. Maybe someone has done that in a mod. I don't know. The modders are really, really interesting. Oh, okay, so the map theme is actually European. Interesting. So is that European buildings, or is that... Oh, that's a biome. Alright, that's fine. Start! Alright, and here we are. So before we get going, let's just take a look at the map. And you'll see that this is actually... Look at this. This is a really, really cool map. Oh, is that a ship out there? Oh, that looked like a fire or something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, look at this. We have a nice open ocean here with a nice beachside property here that we can kind of work with. That's what I forgot to show you guys. In the leisure tab here, or I think it's in the unique buildings, actually. You know, I apologize, I really don't remember. But you can actually add, like, stuff when it comes to water and leisure. So, with water, you can add a pier. You can add a jet ski rental, a fishing pier, a fishing rental type boat thing. And they can actually use the water now, which is absolutely perfect. We'll tackle that later. One of the problems that I found was in most maps, it's usually just a sheer drop like this to the water. So actually having a pier go out there, actually, okay, so the pier makes sense, because the pier can be above water at, you know, whatever, distance, height, whatever. But some of the things like the jet ski rental, if it's up high, you're not really gonna, you're gonna flop the jet ski onto the water, but then you're never gonna get it back up on the dock. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just, some maps aren't necessarily that optimized for this. It looks like, what is this grinding here? This looks like, it's all carved up. I'm not really sure why that is, but, huh. Okay. Alright, let's go over here and, start working on our highway. Now, one thing I will note before we get going here is that what I'm going to do for this city is I'm going to first create a slummy area. And I say slummy very, very, well, it's not very broad. It actually is going to be a slummy area. I'm going to start by building a zone over here. I'm just going to shove a lot of residents and stuff like that. Shove a lot of industry. And then as, you know, we're building these two slum areas up, we're going to work on our, you know, our future permanent city. That's kind of what I did on that test map there. And it actually worked really, really nice. So I'm going to do that. We don't have a lot of room to work with over here because of this this ramp up to this awesome little perch up here, which we're definitely going to work on something up here in the future. But, yeah, we don't have a lot of room to work with over here, so we're probably going to... I think the future city is going to be from that bay all the way to this bay. So we'll make the slums... I don't know, we'll make the slums in here. And then the industry over here. And then, I mean, in the future we'll actually... You know, we'll actually bulldoze all of the slums and all that stuff, and we'll make it the whole city this one beautiful little thing. But for the time being, we're going to have to work with that. So let's go ahead and just kind of connect these guys up. They're going to look like crap. Please don't mind that. Okay, we'll come down this way. Up here, like I said, will be the no. Up here will be the residence, and down in here will be the industry. Just for the time being, like I said, I mean, it's going to look like crap, I know. But just bear with me, please, because it'll look amazing in the future. Just amazing. Okay, first and foremost, let's get this right. You know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to, because that's... You know, that's close enough, I think. Actually, yeah, that looks close enough to me. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Over here, do the same thing, but with, of course, residents and stuff like that. And I don't want to do... Okay, we'll cut it off right there. That's not at all what I wanted. Are you kidding me? Goodness. Okay. Then we'll go in like this and just work on these individual little side roads. And, of course, we're not even. Yeah. I'm going to get very picky over this stuff. But this is the slums. Actually, yeah, it's the slums. It doesn't really matter. We'll just build this stuff. Okay. Now, I know we haven't really done much in this episode, and I do apologize for ending it here. But we had the layout. We're going to work with this. Like I said, it's going to be slummy at the beginning. And then we're going to make our future city stuff, planning, and all that good stuff as we build, you know, this up and... make it a kind of thriving community where they could then, you know, move over to the great city. But, yeah. So anyway, without further ado, I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and definitely stay tuned for more.